Frank, the well-known co-star Mike Wolfe, had experienced a period of estrangement from the show and his longtime colleague. However, they recently reconciled during a reunion in May, marking the end of the rift. In an exclusive interview with the U.S. Sun, a close friend of Frank shed light on what had actually caused the estrangement between Frank and the show, as well as between Frank and Mike Wolfe, who is 59 years old. According to the insider, Frank's departure from the show wasn't exactly a firing. Instead, Frank had decided to take a break after a certain period, citing burnout as a significant factor. His physical condition played a part in this decision, as he had undergone a major back surgery in 2020, which resulted in 185 stitches and the insertion of 2 rods into his spine. The insider also clarified the nature of Frank's feud with Mike. They attributed their lack of communication primarily to the burnout they were both experiencing. It was acknowledged that they had disagreements and arguments related to the show, which the insider emphasized were typical in any business. Despite the professional disputes, the two remain close friends outside of the show, maintaining their strong bond of 40 years. The source highlighted that the crew and others associated with the show held no ill will toward Frank, and they continued to keep in touch and visit him. These interactions were characterized by their shared enthusiasm for collecting and discovering unique items, a shared passion that had always been at the core of their conversations. Mike and Frank's reunion over Memorial Day weekend marked the end of their estrangement, with the source underscoring that everything between them was now fine. The long history of their friendship, including their high school days and years of shared experiences, remained intact. They now regularly called and texted each other, further solidifying a renewed connection. Interestingly, Frank had also forged a close bond with Mike's brother, Robbie, who had replaced him on the show, despite the change in their professional roles. There were even discussions about Frank potentially returning to the show, a year after suffering a stroke in July 2022. A source close to Frank expressed the possibility of his return, as he continued to watch new episodes and found humor in them. Frank's positive outlook and sense of humor remained intact despite the stroke, and he didn't rule out the idea of making a comeback. The rift between Frank and Mike had become public in 2021 when Frank revealed that they hadn't communicated in 2 years. He expressed his feelings of being sidelined on the show, acknowledging that Mike was the frontman, and he had found his place as the second in command. Mike had announced Frank's departure from the show on Instagram in July 2021, expressing his gratitude for their shared journey and his hopes for Frank's future endeavors. Subsequently, Frank suffered a stroke in July 2022, leading to his placement under conservatorship and guardianship the following month. As of now, he resides in Iowa and continues with outpatient treatment. The stroke had left him with some physical limitations, particularly in terms of walking long distances. However, his mind remained sharp, and he maintained a positive attitude and sense of humor, cherishing his privacy and the opportunity to enjoy life at his own pace.